Hi, I'm Mike Reagan, and I'm here to talk about our new Lionel Fastrack Extended Truss Bridge, product number 6-82110. These bridges have just arrived in inventory, and I'd like to take some time today to explain all of the cool features that this bridge has to offer. So the package that the truss bridge comes in is pretty small given what's inside the box. So I just want to take a few minutes and go through opening this up with you so that everybody understands what's inside the package. So as you can see, we have the product manual that outlines everything I'm about to tell you. In the polyfoam is the bridge. Inside the bridge are the 4 half sections of the piers. Also in here is the front girder support, which allows us to put the piers inside the bridge for shipping. And then in this pocket over here, we've got some wires as well as a couple of screws, which we'll get into here momentarily. So to get the bridge out of the box, simply cut the tape on the cover. Easiest way to get this bridge out of the box is flip the polyfoam over. With a little bit of wiggling. Get this behemoth out of here. So we've got everything out of the package. Quick rundown of what we have. We've got a bag with some wires and screws in them. We've got our front girder face, and we've got our bridge with our piers. So basically you just want to slide the pier pack out of the bridge, and we can set that aside for the time being. On the front of the bridge, I'll zoom in here in a second so that you can see, but you've got 4 screws that are installed in the front of the bridge, but the face is off. That's required, again, so we get the piers in there. But you basically take these 4 screws out and install this front girder face in there, put the screws back in, and zoom in here so you can see how that's done. So as I mentioned, there's 4 screws up here in the front of the bridge, and you want to use just a number 1 or number 0 Phillips head screwdriver and take those 4 screws out. Be careful, they're small, don't lose them. There's no extras in the box. And once you have them removed, simply take the front girder here and position it with the flat side that has the ejector pin markings on it. You want to put that up against the bridge surface itself. Just line up one of the holes to get one of the screws started. And the screws actually go through the front face of the bridge, and they screw into the plastic girders on the inside of the bridge. Get that lined up with a screwdriver. And you may have to push on that plastic girder for it to bite, and then just put the other 3 screws in. And they go in really easy. They're tapped from the factory, so there's really should go in here very painlessly. Without stripping the black paint off the screw head. And that's it. Now your bridge is put back together, and we're ready to proceed. Now that we have our bridge assembled by putting the end on, I want to take just a quick minute and explain to you the features of the bridge. So we've got an injection molded base on the bridge itself, where we have our 30-inch rails. We've got a complete die-cast side on both sides, die-cast end girder detail, and die-cast top. On the inside we have a steel lattice detail that's injection molded plastic. It's a pretty heavy bridge. I'd say this thing weighs about 2.5 pounds. So really stout construction. And the great part about it is the height on the bridge will easily clear your 89-foot auto racks, Husky stacks, and 86-foot high cube boxcars. So pretty much the 3 highest or tallest freight cars in the O-gauge industry go through this bridge no problem. For those of you that want to know, a GG1, as long as the pantographs are down, it'll clear it. If the pantographs are up, well, it's going to get ugly. All right, so that's the bridge. Let's set that aside for a minute, and we're going to talk about the piers. So the piers on this bridge are actually really well engineered. I say that because I was a part of that. So what we have is, let's take them apart so I can show you all the pieces. Each bridge comes with 2 of each of these components. And on the top, they split in half. So just like the catalogs advertised for the last year or so, we have your base pier, which has the ears on it for securing it to your layout. We have 2 middle sections. One, as you can notice, is taller than the other. The taller one is designed for Fastrack elevated trestles, and the shorter one is designed for O-gauge tubular elevated trestles. And then finally we have the 2 top pier halves. One half is designed to mate up with Fastrack, or with the use of a transition joiner can be used to mate up with tubular track or Gargraves, Ross, Atlas, any of the track systems that are out there that have O-gauge mating pins. And then the other side is designed to mate with the bridge. So the reason we did it this way is so that we would allow, it would ultimately allow everybody out there, regardless of what track system they have, to use the bridge. So you start with your base plate, and for the sake of argument, let's just go ahead and use tubular track. So we've got male pins and female slots on the base on each unit. So male pins go in the female slot for the first section, and then we've got our top pier halves. We're just going to go ahead and snap those together the way that they come out of the package. Line the piers up, or line the posts up on that. Put those together. And then let's say we're going to use tubular track, because we've got the short middle section in there. So what I've got here is 2 pieces of O-gauge tubular track and an elevated trestle. This is the tallest piece out of the graduated trestle set, or just 1 piece out of the elevated trestle pack. This is the same size it's been since the post-war era. I don't think the tool has changed much yet. And if it has, it was a carbon copy. So I'm going to grab a piece of Fastrack transition joiner. This is Fastrack connectors on one end and tubular pins on the other. The pier is set up so that the Fastrack snaps into it. And then you simply take your O-gauge track, plug it into the pins on the tubular track end, and as you can see, the height matches up perfectly. So we've got tubular elevated trestle, slides right into the bridge pier on the extended truss bridge. So let's assume that for the moment we were going to use Fastrack. So we can go ahead and take the tubular track out. Gives you an example of that height and how that works. All we're going to do is take out the tubular track piece. And what we're going to put in is the Fastrack elevated section for the middle. Put that in. Take our pier top. Plug it in. And now we're going to take a piece of Fastrack straight. Just snap it into the pier. And I've got I believe they call it letter A, the tallest pier in the either the graduated trestle or the elevated trestle packs. And as you can see, the height on the bridge pier lines up perfectly with the tallest elevated trestle for Fastrack. Now, the way that we engineered this pier was we took into consideration some products that we have on the marketplace today. And what I mean by that is we have a shipped just last year is our 81248 Fastrack girder bridge. What's cool about this is that the girders are separate, so you can place the girders on the top of the bridge, like so. The pier, we engineered the pier so that this girder bridge will snap right in and accommodate that. We've got support for that bridge. Here we can put, again, one of the elevated trestles if we choose, and a piece of Fastrack. Just use this transition joiner for demonstration purposes. So we can use elevated trestle with Fastrack, or again a transition joiner to go to tubular track, Atlas, Gargraves, Ross, whatever. And then you've got your bridge here. If you have a curve as you approach this girder bridge and you're fearful that your pilot's going to hit one of the girders, real simple solution to that. We simply take the girder bridge out, take the piers off, and we put them down on the bottom. So we have more of a plate girder bridge instead of just a regular girder bridge. And then this in turn installs in here, but there's one quick step you got to make. And that is, we've got two inserts molded into this block facade with Phillips head screws. So you simply take those two inserts out by removing the Phillips head screws. It in turn creates two slots that allow this girder bridge to snap right in. And it provides support for the girders on the underside of the track. So if you've got a curved track coming into the bridge approach, and you're concerned about the pilot or the coupler or some large freight cars hitting that girder, simply flip the girders to the underside and remove those two blocks, and your pier accommodates your girder bridge with the girders on the bottom. Now, if you're a scale operator or you run a lot of scale equipment, chances are you're going to want your rolling stock to clear both through the bridge, which, as I mentioned, it will, and underneath the bridge. So to do that, it's really quite simple. Start with your base plate, put your tubular track riser in. Take your Fastrack riser, put it in, take your two top pier halves, snap them together, put them in, that's one. We'll repeat the process for the second one. Space them apart, roughly 30 inches. Take our bridge, install it on one pier, if it'll work for me, and install it on the other pier. Snap it in place. And what we have is the Fastrack Extended Truss Bridge with an overall height on the bottom, high enough to clear all of our scale rolling stock, as well as up on the top. The whole system was developed originally so that this bridge would function as a lift-out section if need be for your layout. So if you have a aisleway on your layout that's about 27 inches wide or so, you can install this bridge. That's why we included these feet here on the piers to screw it down to the layout. Screw those firmly in place after you've got it all lined up. You can walk into your layout and lift the the bridge off completely, go through your walkway, come back, and set the bridge back in place. Of course, I don't have it screwed down, so it looks like I'm fumbling with it, because I am. But with the pier screwed in place, bridge will snap right back into place and you're good to go. I'm going to show you here in a little bit that there's actually some rolled contacts on the top surface of the piers that the bridge rails actually go and touch on, so you have a positive electrical contact for picking it up and putting it back down, as well as some pins on the pier that the rail actually lays up over. Very smooth transition joint. Might get a little clickety-clack through there initially, but that'll wear down pretty quickly, and that creates your bridge. So this is an example of what you get out of the package. Now there's some more details about this bridge that I'd like to get into in a few minutes, but before we do that, I want to bring another bridge into the equation and show you why we made the top piers in halves. And the reason we did that is pretty simple. One of these bridges is cool, but two or more of these bridges is even cooler. So if you have another bridge, chances are you'll have another set of piers. So we'll build them up the same way. We'll start with our base plate, put our tubular track riser, our fast track riser. Then we're going to take the top pier half, take it off. We're going to use two bridge connectors, two bridge halves, and put them together. We'll go ahead and snap that on top of the pier. Because you've got two bridges, you actually have a total of 4 piers, of which you'll only be using 3 if you set up this arrangement. Next up, we'll take the other bridge half and the track mating half, put them together, and set them on top of the other pier. So all told, we have 3 piers. We've got track, bridge, 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 track. And what we can do with this is we can put 2 bridges together. And we'll take our second bridge, place it in, and now we've got 2 bridges with the center pier right in the middle. So as you can see on the video, it creates a pretty awesome sight on the layout. And then again, we've got girder bridges that we can lead into it with, or again, you can put another truss bridge. So this is kind of an idea of what you can create with the extended truss bridges. Again, the whole system is designed originally to work with Fastrack. However, with the O-gauge or the Fastrack transition joiner with the O-gauge pins, snap that onto the end of either of your piers, and every track system out there has an O-gauge mating pin that'll mate up to this, and you can continue to use whatever track system you have. So whether it's tubular, Fastrack, or somebody else's track system, fully compatible with the Fastrack Extended Truss Bridge. So here we are with a 89-foot auto rack, a Husky stack, as well as an 86-foot boxcar. This is just a demonstration to show you that train easily clears everything on the bridge. And like I said, if you put both the tubular and the Fastrack riser in the pier, I want to show you real quick how we'll easily clear everything on the underside as well. So this is using Fastrack, which sits a little bit higher, but if you've got guardrails with cork roadbed or Homosote or whatever, you'll clear that easily as well. So there's your Husky stack, as well as our scale auto rack as well. So just to kind of give you an idea of the clearance that you're looking at, those are 2 of the tallest freight cars in the scale O-gauge or the O-scale world. Clears it no problem. So just kind of give you an idea. I'd like to take a few minutes and talk about some of the other features that the bridge has, and what you do with those wires and screws that come out of the that come with the bridge itself. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the bridge itself comes with a total of 6 jumper wires and 4 screws. And the jumper wires, there's 2 pair with a red shrink tube on them, and 4 pair with a black shrink tube on them. And what those are for is, if you're going to mount your bridge permanently on your layout and not use it as a lift out section, what we've done is we've included some clips on the underside of the bridge and on the underside of the top pier that meets with the bridge. And basically it allows you to take these wires and jump from the pier over to the bridge for a wired electrical connection. And I'll zoom in here in a minute and explain that. But one of the other things that we did to this bridge that's important to note is that we did not ground both outside rails. So out of the package, both outside rails are electrically insulated or electrically isolated. And the reason for that is, if you want to use a block signal in conjunction with your bridge and you want the occupied block, you want the signal to display the aspect of the bridge being occupied with a train, you can use one rail as your insulated outside rail for signal detection. So it was done on purpose. If you want to connect both outside rails together, it's really simple. If you decide to hardwire the bridge to the pier, you simply take one outside rail, you take the wire connector on one outside rail, and when you connect it on the pier, you simply connect it to the opposite outside rail. And we intentionally made these wires long enough to allow you to do that. So the way that the bridge is engineered, as you can see, we've got the ability to put the girder bridge on. We've got the ability to use 2 or more bridges together using a single center pier. We've designed it to be a lift out section. We've designed it to be permanently mounted. If you decide to permanently mount it, on the underside of the bridge feet themselves here, there's a small hole. In the feet that's on the pier, there's a hole there as well. Simply flip your bridge upside down, and we suggest you do it with just the top halves. But you basically position this like so that it's in place. Pretty hard to see upside down, but position it like so. Take those screws that came with the package and simply run them into the feet, and that'll firmly attach the pier to the bridge itself. And then when you set it back down on the piers and screw it in place, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So let's get a couple close-ups so that you can see exactly what we're talking about in terms of these wires and these screws. So as you can see, we've got these clips right here connected to the underside of the rail, and they've got a tab on them. And what that tab is for this this wire connector that comes with the bridge. You basically slide this spade connector over top of that tab, it's like so, and then you basically route the wire through the hole in the front of the bridge face. That in turn goes through the hole. Let me get it lined up with the camera here. Goes through the hole in the front of the bridge pier. So we route that wire through that hole. Position these two together for sake of camera. And inside here, we also have tabs on these rails. So like I was saying, if you want the 2 outside rails connected, you simply position one wire on the rail closest to the where I'm pointing here, and then you connect it to the rail over here on the pier. And then that basically puts your 2 outside rails, ties them together. So if you're not interested in having an electrically isolated block, that's how you cheat that. And you run your wires, the center rail red, the red goes from center rail on the bridge to center rail on the pier, so on and so forth. And then that screw you simply put in the hole, line it up. Let me grab my screwdriver here. And you run it down into the bridge foot. And that in turn locks the pier to the bridge. We'll do that with the other screw here, or on the other foot rather. And now our bridge is firmly connected to our bridge, or our pier is firmly connected to our bridge. We can flip it over and insert it into our piers, and we're ready to go. And now that pier will stay permanently affixed to the bridge forevermore. We hope you enjoyed this product overview video, and we look forward to your comments and reactions to this product. For those of you that purchase one or more of these bridges, we'd love it if you could send us some photographs of how you've used it on your layout, and email those photos to talktous@lionel.com. We'll get them up on our social media page and show the world how you're using Lionel products on your layout today. These, like I said, these products are now in inventory and should be on your dealer shelves within the next week or so. Encourage you to go out to your local dealer, have a look at this bridge, and see the sturdy construction and the super detail that it has, and hopefully it's a tool that you'll be able to use on your layout now and well into the future. Thank you, and guys, have a great day.